And so here's the next one. This is so when I hit 18, I ended up fighting Mimi. Well, I couldn't wait to get out the house. I used to have some friends down the street, Arlene and Ashley. They knew like we was getting abused. I always try to ask them to come over so they could help a nigga clean up too, because people are always nicer. I never really had friends like that. I've always been a loner. I always got called names. Always certain situations like that. And I was about 17, on the brink of 18 then. And I think that's how I know I was 17 when I lost my virginity. Well, yeah, 17 on the brink of 18 when I met Tremaine. And we did that. Um, yeah, we did that. And then I ended up fighting Mimi and getting kicked out. But I wasn't talking to Tremaine. He already had a place to go. I think his granny left him this place or something. I could have had, and he would have been taking care of me. But I wasn't. I ended up going with my cousin Lulu. Mind you, they structure was different. They had that's Andrew's sister. It's crazy because every monster there's always like a little angel set in place, ain't it? But she was kind of like an angel, the little angel to me. They end up getting housing. Whatever they got their housing, you stand outside, whatever. They was the first ones there. So, they don't know, the government ended up lotterying, giving them a lottery of giving them a little housing, whatever the case may be. And so, it was her. She had, it was a couple of cousins. It was a couple of cousins, well, cousins, friends, whatever. She had friends. She was real popular type stuff. I do remember around, I'm trying to figure out, I hope my timeline is right. Because I was on the brink of 18, I had nowhere to go. Unless I ended up having to go back to Auntie Deborah's house. However the case may be, I just happened to keep falling back into this family. And time goes by, but anyway, yeah, we chilling, you know what I'm saying? We little dancers and stuff. Exotic dancers is what we call us. We was never no hoes, but we was strictly about our dough. uh she had friends. I ain't had too many friends, but I'm just a cousin. She ended up kicking me out because I didn't want to give her no food stamps. This when she was with Ville. I'll never forget that because that kind of crushed me. Like, damn, bitch, we've been doing this forever, and then you gonna kick me out because of nigga. But and mind you, when I turned 18, I ended up getting pregnant. So I was fucking. After I ended up losing my virginity, I think I stayed with Jenny for a little while because I ended up getting kicked out from with Mimi. So I ended up staying with Jenny for a little while. We stand on Broadway in 54th or something like that. And Jenny's daughter. She was everybody, we all got beat with the vacuum. But anyhow, uh I never had to worry about her saying, she probably was watching her man around me, but never had to worry about that. I stayed with Jenny for a little while, and um, I went from Jenny's to Shamika. Shamika's was cool. Shamika, Uncle Curtis' daughter. I never really had too many really runs-ins with Uncle Curtis, except for he always smelled like saints and sin. um, And so she was awesome. Shamika was a wonderful mother. You know what I'm saying? She took me in. I would say I stayed at her house. They never had to pay nothing. If I did have to give, I probably didn't. She showed me how to get on the food stamps. I mean, I'm not saying that she was building a nigga to be a product of the environment, but she was awesome. She cooked her kids breakfast, cleaned the house every day. Nigga, she was wonderful. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if she had a job or even if she did, she was a phenomenal person. She taught you life things, real things about life. You really actually got to see things, real shit. She was great. Uh, so I have not too much to say about that. Uh, Not about her personally, but so I ended up going from Janie house to her house a little bit, in between. But by Shamika house, there's my baby daddy. My baby daddy Ariane, he used to live on fucking Carlton, right by the APs. He's like a little black Mexican, whatever. Black nigga be with the Mexican. So he never really spoke much. He never really did too much. He was a little weirdo. And hell, I was coming from so much trauma. Hell, that's all I needed was a nigga to listen to me. And and he and I ended up getting pregnant. We end up, boy, I'm telling you, that man, uh, we had the smallest bed ever. We sitting there planking on the bed. And he had a lot of silverfish. I never forget. Every time we fucking the silverfish running through the walls. Um, I ended up getting pregnant. And I found out as soon as I turned 19 on my birthday. I came back with him with the pregnancy test. And I came back to him with the pregnancy test, still piss dripping. And I just said, I don't know, what if God never allows me to have another, what if I get an abortion? I said, I'm keeping it. You know what I'm saying? That nigga smoked the cigarette to the filter. You heard what I said? There's no filter left. There was no filter left. That nigga smoked the cigarette to the filter. I said, looking like, boy, this nigga a bum. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. That was my baby daddy. I thought it was wonderful to have life, I was 18 now. Now I'm turning 19 now. I end up having my baby. That's 2012. She was the most wonderful, most great. I had my backbone, I would say, was Auntie Jenna's daughter. Jenny helped a lot. She even through my baby shower, you know what I'm saying? I stayed with her multiple times throughout the timeline. I stayed with her. Not too much trauma happened there, so I don't have to get into that story, you know what I'm saying? Certain people should just really be R.I.P., you know what I'm saying? So what? Let me end that call. So yeah, I ended up having my baby. Jenna was mad talking about I'm sitting up in the chair. Nigga, I was homeless the whole time I was pregnant. I'm going from house to house, bed to bed, out, however the case may be. After I ended up having her a reg for a while, I don't know if I left her when if she was, no, not as a baby. I don't know if she stayed with Janie for a little while. However the case may be, it was like she was with me sometime and she would be somewhere else for days that I could get a break. But she was with the family, somebody that I trust supposedly. Also, I have Missy, that's Uncle Stanley's daughter, Melina too. Them people that I kind of cared about, you know what I'm saying? So that shit, they always had a nigga back. Either Melina will watch it while a nigga go out and exotic dance, and or Missy will watch it while a nigga go out and exotic dance, Never a hoe, but strictly about my dough. Let me see. And so I ended up having my baby, getting a little bit older. Now, mind you, I think I'm living with Lulu at this time. Lulu had housing for years, so she was always comfortable where she was at. And her rent wasn't that expensive, so we would go out and make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, nigga, and we would just be living our best life. I could never say what she always had something she spent it on because she had a house, Other than that, I'm saving it or I'm spending it or blowing it on weed type shit. I always said I was gay, but I never truly was until I met this girl V. Now, when I met V, that's when I first tried some dope. I always said I never smoked from a pipe because my mother's a crackhead, Mind you, let me give you a little bit of timeline about her. She a smoker. She don't desire to stop, so I still find her, I'll go and give her shoes and cigarettes and things like that. Maybe $10, for her to get to the next hopes and dreams. But that's my mammy. I have nothing too much bad to say about her. Is that her odds was made different, and she did that so I wouldn't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? She was a hoe, and she'd been killed and unalived, and realived multiple times to end up to show me the path. So certain things she did, I always said I would never do. I said I'd never be a hoe. I ain't gonna stay. I had my little couple of days, hadn't turned my couple of tricks. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me also throwing the truth out there, so niggas don't be like, well, she didn't tell the truth. She said she's an exotic dancer, but I wasn't gay though. You heard what I'm saying? My first gay experience came from a trick, and his wonderful wife. They was the flyest motherfucking couple ever. It was a black man and he had a white bitch, and I'll tell you, white bitch coochie. She had an inverted clitoris. I'll never forget, cause I always look like, damn nigga, you want me to eat this? I had to fuck up supposed to eat this boy, but if I could find that couple, they loved me. I never had to be a hoe after that. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you could be part of the family, but I never wanted, because Dante was a pimp, I always knew that it was hoes. You know what I'm saying? And I never wanted to be that way. Now this here, let me put this in there. The first time I ever decided to want to do anything, sell my body, exotic dance, whatever, I had asked everybody in the family, can I have $10? No, I asked Uncle Stanley. I don't think I asked everybody in the family. I asked Uncle Stanley for $10 to get a reg, some diapers or something. But at this time, he probably didn't have it because we always hitting him up for money. And then not just me, he got kids and kids and kids, and they always hitting him up. And not just that, he got so much other stuff that he got on his plate, you know. Just because he got to pay to live comfortable, you know, because he living on somebody else's property, he got to pay to shut a nigga up. But I'll never forget. I asked him for that $10 and he said no. And after that, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go get it on my own. No, wait a minute. I turned 18. I'm having a rig. When I had a rig, I went to Vegas. When I went to Vegas, back to Auntie Jenna's house, that's where I went, back to Auntie Jenna's house. She lived in Vegas at this time. And she had a daughter. Her daughter had a son. That's my little cousin Angelica. I love him. Have not too much bad to say about him besides why he turned on me. You know? Why you sit there and let them people talk about me and sit in the same room as them people. Never touched him, you know. But I can't remember me laying down. He tried to touch me one time, was weaning to my lips when I was at Auntie Jenna's house laying down. And he just did that. Yeah, I said I never ever forget it in my life. I never forget it because they always swear that I'm the nigga that's touching people's kids, or I'm the nigga that's doing something, you know what I'm saying? Or fucking with people, man. No, your kids is just advanced. Fuck your son walking in the room, Ryan, and him young as hell, trying to put his weenie on a nigga lip. Like, you know what I'm saying? It never occurred to me that way. But like I said, I acted like I was asleep. So he proceeded to doing whatever it was that he was doing, and we just never talked about it. He's always been the coolest nephew ever, the coolest little nigga ever. You know, and they could lie detector test me. God is my witness. You know what I'm saying? We never humped. You know, we never done anything. Never hurt my nephew no type of way. And not really my nephew, but, you know, he ain't never disclaimed me as his TT. So shit, fuck it. You know, that's my nephew. And so, but hell, you know, maybe he figured like she humped Jabati and Javon. Why not? Why not try to hump? But I fake sleep. Well, I'm the best fake sleeper ever. And it never proceeded past that day, you know, of him attempting. You know what I'm saying? So I threw that out there. Had to get that out. I'm sorry. It's everybody. And I gotta tell you how I used to live. I stayed with Auntie Francis for a little while. Donna came and abandoned me right before Auntie Sharon left. So mind you, I'm hitting on this timeline. So I'm going back to Auntie Jenna's house in Vegas, and in Vegas, I had a rig, so she always fed me the best. This when Similac was out. She always fed me the best stuff, get my baby fat, things like that. She was protective. She took care of a nigga. I ain't gonna style. She did her little mother thing, and had her job, house always clean. It was me and Angelica at the house. After Ray get a little certain age, I think she probably about to turn 1 or so. Auntie Janet, she was real strict. She was just like, get up and exercise. I guess after I had this baby, I don't need to be sitting down. Get up and exercise. So she wanted a nigga to exercise, but she wanted a nigga to exercise with their earphones out so she could be, well, this is what you need to do. Fat, fuck, blah, 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 blah. Ain't no telling, But to me, it was like, why I couldn't have my earphones in when I worked out? Don't nobody want, to not have to listen to music when they working out. So the fact that I didn't want to work out with my earphones out, she ended up kicking me out of her house. Mind you, I'm in Vegas. This is the first time I've ever had a taste of anything. But in the midst of that, Reg stayed at home with her. I ended up meeting this dude, G. G used to take me to the best hotels. You know what I'm saying? They always get us a bottle. Mind you, I'm a young tenderoni. None of these spots on my face. Fine whippersnapper, like Grams used to say. Young tenderoni then. I met a couple of dudes. I met a nigga from the Masons. He was a court. I ended up immediately leaving him alone. Then I met this older man named G. I think he had a whole family and things like that. I don't know if he was married, but I think he had a whole family. And, we would do the little dude. Mind you, I already had a baby, so I'm having sex and all. He ended up picking a nigga up, always bringing me out, whether it was to food, to bowling, but we in Vegas, so he's taking me to the nice-ass hotels that's looking like suites, not Motel 6s, nigga. And I'm his young tenderoni, so that's how I'm gonna spit it out there like that. I was his young tenderoni. He took care of me. My mama ended up putting me out. I had nothing to do, nowhere to go, so I ended up calling G. G ended up like, I'm gonna show you how to. No pimping and pandering involved. It was all willing. It's like, I'm gonna show you how to get it. So he ended up taking me I had my baby. I think I had my baby. I don't know where I ended up leaving my baby at that time. She was still with, she went with Janie. Must have been with somebody, or I don't know where was my baby at that time. It's probably with Auntie Deborah. However the case may be, I ended up getting put out, and I probably ended up telling her, can you watch it for a second or something, or maybe she was at Auntie Sharon's house. Can't even remember where Reg was, but I know I had her because I got put out with her, and I remember going back upstairs telling Angelica, can you give me some diapers through the door? He ended up bringing me and my baby to, he had kids himself. He ended up bringing me and my baby to LA, you know. He took us out of Vegas, and I think it was only one time. I think he took me to Sunset. And he walked me, and I walked down. He was like, "Never sell yourself shorter than 100." You heard what I'm saying? You always try to get more, and that's how he taught me, you know. And I walked. I did. I made that one little 100. I thought I was lit, little. And so he was like, "Nah, you know how to make you some money that way. You never have to depend on nobody. You never have to be broke." I've never seen that man again. He left. I thanked him for the trade that he taught me. You heard what I'm saying? In order to survive, I don't know. I guess I ended up picking my baby up from somewhere, or what did I get the money for? Did I get the money for a ticket? Did he take me somewhere where he could buy me he bought me the ticket, and I don't know. However the case may be, I ended up being a little hoe that day, and I made my little dough that day, and that was it. That was the first time. So I lied about that. That was the first time. The second time, and I said I never wanted to do it again because my mother was a hoe. You know what I'm saying? So I got that little 100 that day, and shit, it didn't matter because I was fucking G for 100. But I guess he felt like, you really need me right now. You fucking for free, and then you finna go fucking, you know, do whatever. He always gave me shit, like, you know, so I never had to worry. But I'm thinking that when I went back, I'm moving back to Auntie Sharon's. Auntie Sharon's at this point is living at the big house, and as Auntie Sharon living at this big house, I think I got a rig with me at the same time. But also I'm in tune with my cousins. I got my cousin Lucy, Nene, no, I got my cousin Melina, and so Melina she had her house too. She had mental health. Her mama never wanted to deal with her. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, nobody ever really gave a fuck about her. You know what I'm saying? In my eyes, they go act like they did, but in my eyes, no, they didn't. That's why she ended up getting her a little house when she was young, kind of making her mess up her credit and stuff like that. Then, you know what I'm saying? She ended up moving us in, however the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But it was just she didn't want to deal with it. She made sure that her social security check went to paying her fucking rent so she could stay away from her mom, you know, however the case may be. Or maybe I don't know how it was. That's how we looked at it though, because Melina had her own little house, and I'm thinking that's where the baby was most of the time. Well, a reg was, because Melina got the most of a reg, but beside her and Auntie Deborah. And I remember asking Uncle Stanley for that $10. He never gave me that $10 as I'm going back to Auntie Sharon's house. Mind you, this is what G paid for. I mean, this is what he showed me, got the trade, and I'm getting down there. However the case may be, having me a couple dollars from my pocket. Said I'd never do it again, don't want to be a hoe. My mom's a hoe. And I ended up meeting Tone. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Stanley didn't want to give me that $10, so that next day I'm walking to the Smitty's, nigga, and I ended up meeting Tone. He from West Side. Boy, he was the finest thing you could have laid eyes on. I was like, I need to get my baby some diapers, whatever the case may be. The nigga ended up giving me the money for the diapers, and he ended up moving me in his house, you know what I'm saying, in his back house. He was a pimp, I guess. Boy, here you go. He was a pimp, I guess. Boy, we worked up to the racks with stacks for a while. And mind you, again, I didn't want to be a hoe, but I did ask for that money for them diapers. So I ended up exploring my opportunities. We racked up some money. He really thought, he was pissed off when I left, because he thought that we had an establishment going. He was like, you just gonna run off on the plug? We done made all this money and da-da-da-da. But what it was Nene ended up coming. I don't know how the fuck Nene ended up getting with me, and I'm trying to tell her about Tone. We was always open about our stuff. And so Nene ended up coming. That's Uncle Stanley's daughter. The one that always fought me and stuff like that. The one that always fought back. And I don't know. I think he tried to fuck her or something. It was diabolical to me. Like, nigga, I'm the only motherfucker here making the dollars, and you giving her some free dick. I ain't know how to fuck. I ain't know how to feel about that. So I don't know. I ended up leaving him. Going back to my neighborhood. Like fuck all the hoeing, whatever, and I'm going living off the fat of the land, or moving to Shamika house. No, I was pregnant when I was moving to Shamika house. Shamika, the person that showed me how to get on the county building and basically align myself with food stamps and shit like that, So that was cool. And I guess that's why I ain't spoke on her house too bad, because she ain't nothing to speak on. She was awesome. But yeah, I guess Nene ended up trying to fuck Tone, or Tone trying to fuck Nene. However case may be, that's my cousin that pissed me off. I don't give a fuck whether, but ain't no loving hoes. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Pimping and hoeing ain't nothing else going. Ain't no telling. You know what I mean? Shit, what you loving for? Bitch, straight up on you in a minute, take your dick. Anyway, so I ended up leaving that. Nigga, mind you, we ended up buying a house and everything. He did everything that he said he was gonna do. He bought the clothes for a nigga. He bought the shoes. Only thing was I felt like I deserved to be loved. I want a husband. You heard why we couldn't just be doing this together for us to be together. You know what I'm saying? He ended up having a house. He ended up buying a house on Avalon. It was like a duplex. Fresh paint, everything. We got big money, big roads. I probably got some evidence on Facebook about that. That'll give you timelines. For real. And boy, I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. I ended up leaving him after making all that money, getting him a house. I'm just like, nigga, you'll figure it out. You get you another hoe, get you a hoe or something. Not another hoe, because I ain't never been a hoe, but I've been about my dough. I stand on business about that, because it was nothing that I ever wanted to be. It's not like I woke up and be like, oh, I'm going to be a hoe today. You know what I'm saying? No, it was, damn, nigga, survival at its fittest. I don't neglect the change. I don't neglect I don't regret it, is what I mean. I don't regret the obstacles that I went through to become the person that I am today. For I have been remade virgin coochie. You heard what I'm saying? Virgin coochie. Not a finger could go in it. I try every day. Type shit. I lived my life abstinence for a while. Hopefully to make up for all that time. Having that Jezebel spirit all up over me, but I ain't gonna make up no excuses and say, oh, well, look how I was raped, molested, and abused and all that, and the things that I saw. I'm not gonna make up those excuses, but it plays a part on how a person is becoming. And so, give me a second. I'm gonna post a different one. Boy, somebody needs to subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I need to go in and get it cracking. I'm already gonna be hated. You heard what I'm saying? I'm gonna be hated by each and everybody in my family, even the niggas that I didn't speak about. You heard what I'm saying? Because the truth. Oh yeah, the truth. Because when the truth come out, word of mouth. Boy, I tell you, it's scriptures to all that. I'm gonna get into my holy field a little later. I'm gonna come right back to you. What part was it? Where part was I at? It's so much stuff be going on. I would be, it'd be kind of hard to keep track.